In this lesson, we're going to be looking at how to sand and the different types of sandpaper. I have a couple different examples here. This is 120 grit, this is 220 grit, and this is 320 grit. The grit number refers to the amount of actual pieces of grit per square inch of the sandpaper. So the more pieces of grit, the finer the sandpaper. What we do when we sand is we start with a lower number because this will be more coarse and remove more material. What sanding does is it scratches the surface and breaks down sections of little defects step by step until you're left with 320 grit. Is as far as the eye can see and the hand can touch for our purposes, in this case a cutting board. Some safety considerations that you want to use when you're working with sandpaper is safety glasses always. Dust masks and ear protection are optional, however strongly encouraged. Sawdust, if breathed in over time, can produce some pretty nasty respiratory issues. So if you would like them, we will give them out for you later on in the class. Something you want to do when you're sanding is you always want to go with the grain. When we sand with the grain, we do not break the fibers. When you go across the grain, you can see that that makes more marks than removes the marks. So we want to go with the grain, starting at a low number. Again, we are starting at 120 because this is a previously prepared milled surface, and we do not need to start with something like a 60 grit, which is comparable to a file or rasp. So we start with 120. Going with the grain, we're going to cover the whole surface of our material. As you can see, we are creating sawdust, and you can tell the sections that I've done and I haven't done. We'll then jump up to 220 grit. We will imagine that I've covered this section at the bottom as well. As you can see, we're getting more smooth and more smooth as we go along. I should also note what I'm holding here is a sanding block. The sanding block has a soft piece of fabric. We take the sandpaper, we wrap it around, and we can pinch the sandpaper in place on the sanding block. What that does is it ensures that we have a flat surface instead of using our fingers, which are curved and create grooves in the wood. With 220 down, we step up to 320. This is the highest that we are going to go. Again, full coverage. And there you have it, 320, perfectly smooth. This is now prepared for our finish. What we're going to be using is a mineral oil. After we use the mineral oil, it will puff up the fibers. We will go in again with a 320 grit and then apply a second coat. That's sanding.